guys, it feels like old times, I have to say. My very first Comic-Con, I believe, was your very first Comic-Con. And I came up to you and asked you about Stefan. Like, it came out weird.
That's not true, because I was at Comic-Con before Vampire Diaries with a mini-series for ABC Family. So that was probably my third Comic-Con.
So I wasn't your first.
You weren't my first, unfortunately. I lied.
You might be his last.
I also found out I was pregnant at that Comic-Con. I remember interviewing you, and I was like, I'm not going to walk away because it's Ian, and I love Ian, but I'm about to Ralph.
We figured it out. It wasn't either one of us.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're not. That's not exactly.
We called up Jerry Springer.
No,
we did the paternity test.
We did the thing.
Yes.
I don't know.
Does it feel like old hat at this point? Is it still exciting when you old hat? Like when you show up and you see all the fans, is it still really exciting?
I feel old hat when I look at him. I don't.
Actually, speaking of old hat,
what do I got?
Here's the crazy thing. It's not old hat. Actually, it's always new and fun. I mean, look at this. It's so beautiful. But it's crazy is we are brothers and we do the same stuff. I almost wore a black shirt. We would have been.
This happens every year.
It happens every year.
Really?
Why don't we coordinate? Why don't we ever text each other and just coordinate?
Are you synced up in that part of your brain? Like, can you?
I can sense what Ian's gonna wear. I wake up in the morning. It's like a barometer of.
Okay, let's try this. What's he gonna wear on August 16th?
Pink thong underneath. What he's
underneath
wearing.
or on top?
Oh, okay, underneath.
Right.
Is he wearing a pink thong now?
Yes,
no, actually,
generally.
no.
Oh, really?
I actually left all my clothes at our house in California, so I'm
you're full on
I'm
commando.
not wearing underwear.
Great.
It happens. It's Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Crazy things happen.
Yeah.
By the way, this is 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
I've been here with this man that I call my brother, and 7 years in a row that I've been here with this lovely lady. Think about that. You do anything 7 times in a row. It means you like it.
I'm not feeling a 7-year itch. Are you feeling a 7-year itch? Because I'm not feeling it.
What does that mean?
It's a good Comic-Con marriage we have going on.
It's a marriage thing. A 7-year itch. I think it's when
it's like when
you start
things
getting
go
really
bad.
itchy when you're married for 7 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. I hadn't even heard of that.
Speaking of, I'm going to get my one marriage question out of the way, which is this. What have you learned about marriage so far? Because I am in the 7-year
that I got
span
an
of my marriage.
amazing ring.
Okay.
It's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah?
It's having an incredible partner, someone who always has your back. Because I don't know if you know, but out there is crazy, and not everybody has your back.
Yeah, I have your back. I have both your.
I'll tell you what I've learned with Ian being married.
Yeah.
I now we can't get married, and I'm sad about that.
Actually, but we could legally.
Well, I'm saying, but that's
legally.
something I was looking forward to.
Ian, you missed your chance. That was terrible timing.
Business is marriage without sex.
Yes.
So technically, we're yeah, it's okay. We don't have to talk about it.
What can you tell us about Stefan and Caroline in the new season? Are you hoping for them to move things forward?
I like it. Look, I love. I love Candice as a person and as an actress, but she's such a friend of mine, and I'm friends with her husband, and it's always so hysterical to me when we have to make out because I honestly look forward to it because it's so awkward and funny. So I'm looking forward to it just for that reason alone.
Right.
And then I text Joe and I'm like, I just made out with your wife.
Is there always sort of a moment when you're going in for a makeout
It's always funny.
Like,
it's literally always, we're always laughing.
Do you ever get the giggles?
Oh, every time.
Okay.
Non-stop.
The only time he didn't have the giggles was when they were doing a little nudie scene together. And
what happened?
Remember when Candice wore the little
Oh,
thing?
yeah, that was so funny.
I was editing my episode till 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And Candice was up very early in the morning cutting out, because, when everyone's nudie, the girls wear pasties.
Yeah.
Candice made homemade pasties, but with my face
with
on
with Ian's face.
So when he went to get down and dirty.
But what was funny is we were in the middle of filming, and we were doing this love making scene.
Down.
Yeah, and I lowered the sheets or whatever, but only for a second. And I look down and I see this odd design on her, breasts, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna look. I'm trying to be respectful. And then I was like, and then in the back of my head, I was like, is that Ian? And then during the second take, I looked down and I'm like, what the? It was like Ian was staring at me. It was the weirdest thing, and he was like,
"Oh my god!"
Yeah, on her. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was a great.
That's amazing. Please tell me there's footage of that somewhere that will be on some.
There must be.
Reel.
I would.
There has to be.
There to be a little.
Well, the funny thing was that because I showed up to set, I was so tired, and I said to Candice, she goes, oh, I want to show you something. She brings me in a room and she shows me this pile of pasties with my face on them, and I said, wow, that is amazing. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm a little out of it. I was up cutting you until literally 4 or 5 in the morning. She goes, that's funny, because I was cutting you. And we were cutting each other at the same time.
She should maybe market those. I'm just going to say.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. And could I get a pair?
Yeah.
I'm sure it wouldn't be awkward at all.
Your husband
When
will
it's
love
cold
that.
outside, Ian will keep you from
In
smuggling
check.
raisins.
Smuggling raisins.
This is the problem with our interviews. I go in with a set line of questioning, and it derails, and it's the best thing
the only
ever.
way to go.
The
It's
the only
derails
way
are
to
way
go.
better than the planned
What do you want it to
questions.
be, Ernest?
No, God, no.
Ernest.
Bonnie and Damon, we got to go there. You got to
Bonnie
tell
and
me what's
Damon.
up.
Do you guys have a
our
sexual
fit?
chemistry? I didn't, honestly, I'm literally oblivious to this. Is
Bonnie
there a
and
Bonnie
Damon
and
have
Damon?
some pretty badass chemistry, I think.
But is
The
there
Damon
like a
fans
romance?
certainly believe so and
Oh,
want it to
really?
happen.
Yeah,
yes.
because
didn't know that.
it's that thing, you know. It's that, you know, the great thing about Kat Graham and I is we work with the same acting coach, Ivana Chubbuck, so we get to work with her separately and then we work together.
Yeah.
And so we have all these cool just secret communications and just things that only we know, which
Yeah.
make the stuff juicy and
Yeah.
sort of have some depth.
Yeah.
And it's a blast. And so I think the audience sees that. And now that she's the best friend and Elena is linked to her, it's this weird thing, you know, it's like being, I guess, always being with your girlfriend's best friend, who now your girlfriend is dead, but really sleeping, and I don't even know.
Right.
What
It's
did,
not
what did
an
you just
everyday
say?
problem.
What did you just say?
I gave you the bureaucratic...
I tried
I
to
gave
like
you-
pay attention, and I
gave
have no
you-
idea what you're
I
talking
learned
about.
this in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
It's called the bureaucratic runaround.
Okay.
I tell you a lot.
Just plead the
without-
fifth.
I tell you a lot without
Yeah.
telling you anything
Yeah,
else.
or just like not making sense.
Actually, it just didn't
yeah.
make sense because I was trying to put it together. It's complicated.
Yeah.
Bonnie and Damon are complicated, and that's what makes them so awesome.
So the box you would check is, it's complicated. On Facebook, relationship status, it's complicated.
Is
For
that
the time
true?
being.
Is that real?
Yeah.
I
have
what I
Facebook.
hear. Do you
I have
Facebook?
Facebook, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a personal Facebook,
Okay. Good to know.
And so you, when
and I have a relationship status.
And what is your relationship
I'm not
status?
gonna tell you.
I was
It
so
actually
close.
says, you know what my relationship status says?
Half-mast?
No, it says, I think it says domesticated partnership. I don't even know what that means. I just thought it was funny.
Right. So why
just
not
put
check
that.
I'm
that?
calling Phoebe. I want to ask you about this.
We hear that Damon is also getting darker in this.
I got tan when I was in Italy. And,
So it's just a spray tan action. It's not.
No, it was
it's
real.
not
No, he's
darker.
sprayed.
Amalfi Coast.
You spray tan, don't lie.
I
Are
will
we gonna
never
see-
understand people spraying like 2 gallons of chemicals all on them to make them
I feel good about it.
like orange.
And if
I
you
like
see the pilot of Scream Queens, you will never spray tan again.
What's
Spoiler
Scream
alert.
Queens?
Scream Queens, the new Ryan Murphy show.
Oh, yeah.
There's
yeah,
a
yeah.
spray tan DEATH. That's pretty amazing.
DEA.
Um,
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
awesome.
Great.
It's pretty awesome.
He's a smart guy, that guy.
But Damon, will we see evil Damon again? Are we
Yeah.
going to see
Oh,
sort
hell
of
yeah.
more? Okay. Are you
I mean,
are
look,
you
these
excited
two
about
guys,
that?
I just wish that Stefan and Alaric and Enzo and Damon.
What about me?
I just said Stefan.
Oh, sorry.
Pay attention.
But back to me. Yeah.
Would just jump in the Camaro, which they need to switch that out for like a Tesla.
A Tesla?
Yeah.
It's faster.
I mean, I
doesn't
get
make
it,
all
but
the-
come on, let's stick with the Camaro.
The timing's off. It smells bad. It's really loud, and they need to just take off, and they need to just go and destroy and hang out and drink a bunch of bourbon. And we want to go back to this season 1, season 2 way of storytelling that was dark and volatile and sexy and fun and dangerous. It's all the people love about vampires. We need to go back to. What happens in series television, particularly when you have 44 minutes to tell a story, because out of 60 minutes, you have 44 minutes. So 16 minutes of commercials.
Yeah.
I get everyone
I
needs
also-
to make money, but it's like
I also
it
think it's just
kills
like-
the story.
But I also
can't-
think doing 22 episodes a year is particularly difficult on any show.
Yeah.
And doing that for 7 years in a row. It's like, you know, I think the 13 episode format, it's easier to kind of create stories that are less plotty.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that the show can get a little plotty because they need to create so much material. So I don't envy the position of being a writer on a 22 episode show.
It's
Yeah.
it's actually it actually shoots you. You know, you're shooting yourself in the foot ultimately because the type of quality control that you get with a 10, 12, 13, 15 episode show is exponentially higher, denser than you're going to get in 22 episodes. It's just the way it is. So
Yeah.
hopefully what we can do this year is rein it in where we don't have an A, B, C, D, E, F, HIJK storyline.
Yeah.
We can stick with a few very concentrated, very dynamic storylines, and the audience will love that. You know, it's like Vampire Diaries, I think we dug ourselves into a hole, which was actually fun because people loved it, where we could tell so many stories in one short period of time. However, after a while, you really start to dilute yourself.
Well, I also think, if I'm not like running, we're talking about this too much, just tell me to shut up. But I also think, like, if you watch seasons 1, 2, and 3, every episode ends on a bang, ends on a bang, ends on a bang. There's always a twist, right? So then it's like, how do you keep that going for so long? Eventually, you need to kind of plateau, because it's like, how many surprises can you pull out of your hat? You know what I mean?